Hello everyone, today Hathanhvn continues to tell 5 stories about life. Please listen. Story 221, The Journey to Happiness. Sarah lives in a small apartment in New York City. Every day, she goes to work at an advertising agency, working hard but feeling that life is passing by more and more meaninglessly. Although she has everything that many people dream of, a stable job, a nice apartment, happy friends, Sarah always feels that something is missing, a feeling of true happiness. One morning, while drinking coffee at a small cafe near her house, Sarah runs into an elderly woman. Mrs. Margaret. She has silver hair and sparkling eyes as if she has experienced thousands of interesting stories. Mrs. Margaret smiles and sits down next to Sarah. "You look sad, Sarah. What's wrong?" Mrs. Margaret asks. Sarah hesitates for a moment, then tells about the things she feels are missing in her life despite having plenty of material things and a stable job. She says that despite having everything, she doesn't seem to have a feeling of true happiness. Margaret listened and smiled gently. "Happiness is not something ready-made, Sarah. It is not something that can be bought or found randomly. Happiness comes from your actions. When you give love, care, or simply help someone, you will feel true joy." Sarah felt Margaret's words as a ray of light, but she still did not understand. "So how do I know that my actions will bring happiness?" Margaret gently replied, "Try doing something small, but from the heart. Maybe help a stranger in need, or simply spend time listening to a friend who is sad. You will see, happiness does not come from what you receive, but from what you give." Sarah did not say anything, but a new thought began to form in her heart. She began to change the way she lived. She spent time caring for the people around her, not just focusing on work or material things. Every time she helped someone, she felt a strange sense of peace and happiness. Gradually, Sarah realized that true happiness is not something to be searched for out there, but it starts from the small actions she takes every day. She felt full of energy and lived more fully, no longer feeling deprived or lacking. Lesson: happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your actions. Happiness is the result of positive actions, loving and sharing with others. When you sow good things, you will reap true happiness.
Story 222, A Trip to Cherry Blossoms. Min-ji is a girl living in Seoul, always busy with work and has no time to enjoy life. She always thinks that she needs to work hard to achieve success, but in her heart she feels an indescribable emptiness. In the evenings, she sits alone in her small room, looking out the window, quietly dreaming of another life, a colorful life and trips. One day, while working at her favorite coffee shop, Min-ji accidentally meets Hyun, a young man reading a book. They happen to chat about their hobby of traveling. Hyun tells her about his trip to Japan during cherry blossom season, when he witnessed the beautiful scenery of cherry trees in full bloom, each petal flying in the wind, creating a mysterious and romantic space. "Traveling helps me feel life in a different way, Min-ji," Hyun says with a warm gaze. "Not just because of new places, but because of new experiences, new people and new emotions. Traveling enriches me." After hearing this, Min-ji suddenly felt a ray of light in her soul. She decided to do something she had never thought of before: travel. She booked a flight to Japan, where the cherry blossoms were in full bloom, and prepared herself for a new journey. When Min-ji arrived in Japan, she was not only amazed by the beauty of the natural scenery but also captivated by the hospitality and sincerity of the people there. She was able to participate in spring festivals, enjoy special dishes and chat with new friends. With each passing day, Min-ji clearly felt the change in herself. She not only learned about the culture and people, but also discovered new joys and passions. Deep and rich emotions that she had never had before began to flood her heart. When she returned to Seoul, Min-ji was no longer the busy and anxious girl she used to be. She became an energetic person who always found beauty in the simple things around her. She realized that the trip not only helped her understand more about the world, but also helped her find herself again. Lesson: Traveling is the only way to become a richer person. Unknown. Traveling not only brings beautiful memories but also helps you broaden your horizons, understand more about life and yourself. Every trip is an opportunity for you to become richer, not only materially but also spiritually.
Story 223, Connect. Lily is a girl living in New York City, where life is always in a hurry and modern technology surrounds every minute. She works as a programmer at a large technology company, and her job is almost exclusively related to computers and code. Although her life is busy and convenient, Lily feels lonely and lacks real connection with the people around her. One day, while working at a familiar coffee shop, Lily happens to meet Jack, a freelance photographer. Jack is unlike the other people she has met. He does not live for technology but always finds ways to connect with the world around him through each photo, each story he tells. He loves long trips, real conversations, and never lets himself get caught up in phone or computer screens for too long. One afternoon, when the two were chatting about work and life, Jack said, "Technology is a tool, Lily. But it's up to us how we use it. If we only live in the digital world, we'll miss out on the moments that really matter." Lily was surprised. It was the first time she heard someone talk about technology in such a different way. She looked into Jack's eyes and saw in him a peace that she had always sought. "Don't you feel left behind by not living on technology?" she asked. Jack smiled and shook his head. "No, I use technology to connect with the world, but I don't let it dominate my life. I just want to be real with what's around me, and real relationships." Lily began to think about what Jack said. She realized that while technology brings convenience and connection, it's how people use it that creates real value. She doesn't need to spend all day doing email or scrolling through social media. She needs to find moments to connect with friends, family, and herself. The next day, Lily decided to make a change. She started using technology consciously, limiting her time on her phone and computer, and instead spending more time on real conversations and trips to explore the world around her. She found that life became more beautiful and each day was filled with meaning. The lesson: technology is a tool, but it is up to us to decide how to use it. Technology can help us connect and achieve many things, but it is up to us to decide how to use it properly. When we use technology consciously, we can find balance and enjoy the true values in life.
Story 224, Summer by the Sea. In a small coastal village in southern Italy, where the white houses with red roofs shine brightly under the sun, lives a girl named Maria. She works in a small cafe by the sea, where tourists from all over come to enjoy the beauty of this land. Although Maria's life is quite simple, she always feels happy when she sees the smiles of tourists and hears interesting stories from them. One summer afternoon, when the golden sunlight shines down on the waves, a young man from Milan, Alessandro, comes to Maria's cafe. He seems different from other tourists. Alessandro is a quiet, reserved person and always focuses on his work, a professional photographer. He comes here to look for beautiful moments, poetic photos of nature and people. Maria and Alessandro start talking to each other. She talks about the simple things in her life, about her work at the cafe, and about the little joys she has every day. Alessandro, meanwhile, shares about his long journeys through big cities, but admits that despite being to many places, he still feels like something is missing. "I can take beautiful pictures, Maria," Alessandro says, "but I realize that the things I take are just images. The things that really enrich life are the things I share with others." Maria looks into Alessandro's eyes and feels the sincerity in his words. She realizes that, although Alessandro has what many people dream of, a successful career and great pictures, he lacks moments of true connection with others. The two continue to talk, sharing about life, dreams, and untold stories. They take walks along the beach together, watch the sunset, and share peaceful moments. Gradually, Maria realized that what she had, The simple experiences in this village were the most precious things, because she could share them with others. At the end of the summer, when Alessandro had to return to Milan, he said, "Maria, I think I found what I really needed. Not the pictures or the trips, but the moments I could share with others. I learned from you that people are not what they have, but what they share." Maria smiled and gently replied, "That's right, Alessandro. Happiness comes from sharing simple things, real moments together. The lesson: people are not what they have, but what they share. Life is not just about the material things we own, but the moments, the feelings and the experiences we can share with each other. That is what makes us richer and more complete."
Story 225, Under the Night Lights. Eliza is a girl living in a bustling city, where the lights are sparkling and the crowded streets are always full of hustle and bustle. She is a graphic designer, loves creative work but often feels lonely in the crowd. Although she has friends, colleagues and a full life, she always feels that something is missing, a true love that she longs for. One autumn night, when the yellow leaves fall from the chestnut trees, Eliza decides to take a walk in the park near her house to relax after a long day of work. When she passes the lake, suddenly, a familiar figure appears. It is Jake, an old friend she hasn't seen for a long time. Jake is a musician, someone she used to know since college, but then each went their separate ways, never to be in touch. Jake, Eliza is surprised to recognize him, and Jake also smiles. "Hello Eliza, how have you been?" Jake asked, his eyes lighting up when he saw her. They sat down on a bench by the lake and talked as if no time had passed between them. Jake talked about his tours, about his long nights of writing music, and Eliza talked about her work and her busy life. They both realized that even though they hadn't seen each other for a long time, they still had a lot in common and felt comfortable talking to each other. During the conversation, Eliza couldn't help but notice the change in Jake. He was no longer the mischievous boy he used to be. Jake was now a calm and caring man, always paying attention to the little things, from asking Eliza how she was, to helping her adjust her coat when the wind blew cold. Every action he took showed his concern, not through flowery words but through concrete actions. One day, when Eliza had to work late, she received a text from Jake, "You may be tired, but remember to drink water and rest. I will wait for you on the weekend to walk together under the city lights." Eliza felt warm. She realized that love is not about promises or temporary infatuation, but about small but caring actions. Jake did not say that he loved her, but every action of his showed a deep and sincere love. Day by day, Eliza felt Jake's care, not through romantic words of love, but through actions full of affection. She understood that true love is not a fleeting feeling, but care and quiet but sincere actions. Finally, Eliza realized that love is not something too far away, but simple actions, care and attention in every moment. And perhaps, love was present from the moment she started to notice the little things Jake did for her. Lesson: love is not a feeling, but action and care. True love is not just words or strong emotions, but small actions, sincere care and concern that people give each other every day. Love is built from specific actions, not just from vague feelings.
Thank you for listening. Goodbye and see you in the next short stories about life.